All right, everyone. Congratulations. You've arrived back at the Archeologist Lab. You survived day 1, and we are on to day 2, people. That's right. You have understood the steps of the scientific method. You've made some observations, and you've been able to see yourself as an archaeologist in the world. And today, we are moving forward to technology. That's right. Thanks for joining us here at the Cedar Rapids Public Library. My name's Meredith, and I'm so glad you were able to join us. We have a lot to do, so we might as well start getting cracking. Now, the technical definition of technology, according to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, is this: the practical application of knowledge, especially in a particular area, a capability given by the practical application of knowledge, a manner of accomplishing a task, especially using technical processes, methods, or knowledge, and the specialized aspects of a particular field or endeavor. Now, people, I'll be the first to admit that when we go straight to the serious business of the dictionary, it's a kind of complicated definition. Technology is knowledge, or things you know about something, how you apply it, or how you use your knowledge to do something, and what kinds of specialized tools you have to complete your tasks. So here's the thing. Depending on what time in history you're in, technology looks a lot different. Let me show you an example, okay? So here is an example of some ancient technology from a couple different continents, actually. You might notice that there are no, iPhones on this. There are no 3D printers. There are no wireless Bluetooth earbuds. So those are some of the things that come to my mind, at least when I think about technology. Augmented reality, robots, all sorts of things like that. But at one point, a shell sharpened to create a tool, either so that someone could hunt or so they could scrape the fat away from a hide to make clothing, was kind of a big deal. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, here is an example of modern technology. What you're looking at is a computerized image, a digital image of the Cathedral of Notre Dame. So what some archaeologists do is they take equipment that can take a scan of all the sides, all the edges, all the bumps, all the lumps, all the cracks and artifacts. Now, in this case, they could do a 3-dimensional scan of something as large as a cathedral, like a giant church. But they could also scan tiny things that could fit in the palm of your hand. Now, that's a pretty incredible technology, and we'll talk about that just a little more in a bit. You have an understanding of ancient technology, or specialized tools that people used a long time ago, or modern technology, which are specialized tools that people use right now. So, go ahead. Let's open those bags up. Can you find your day 2 bag if you haven't already? Let's see what's inside, okay? According to my notes, you should have, drum roll please, it's so exciting, a craft stick? Where are the 3D printers, the digital cameras, the 3-dimensional laser scanners? It wasn't in the budget this year, kids. I am sorry. However, your craft stick, your toothpick are both tools, right? They're a form of technology. It's more to prove a point, right? But here's the cool thing. You also have not just a lump of clay, not a fossilized dinosaur egg, but it's your practice piece to find some artifacts. So inside that thing that looks like a lump, looks like just a piece of dirt, I have placed some very specific things. So you're going to have to use your tools and get everything that you can from your day 1 book too, or your day 1 bag as well, right? And you're going to poke, pick, and gently brush away the debris to find the artifacts buried inside there. Now, you'll need your notebook as well for this project because you're still going to make your observations. So, go ahead if you want to start sketching and sketch what your initial clump looks like. Go ahead and take your ruler and take a measurement, right? And if you want, you can make it on your page the same size, or if you make it different, that doesn't matter. Just make sure you write the actual size so you know for real what it looked like before you even started, okay? And then as you chip away and find things, for every object that you find, you should make a little mark of where you found it, okay? And then as you remove all the debris and have all of your artifacts laid out, you're going to draw each of those as well, okay? But while you start drawing, I'm going to tell you a story about a real life scientist. Let me show you what he looks like. Hang on just a second. Now, this is Dr. Bernard K. Means, and he's the director of a virtual curation laboratory. So what this means is that, in theory, all the artifacts that he's in charge of don't actually live in his laboratory or in a collection that he is a part of. What happens is that he takes items that are either super fragile or that cannot travel, and he creates digital records of them. I'm sure he takes photographs and images with a digital camera to record what they look like, but then this is where that three-dimensional scanner comes in. What he can do is he can image an entire artifact and create a model of it so that he can send that model to a 3D printer and print an nearly exact replica of it. Now, this is incredible. Like, not only can you create a digital file in 3 dimensions that you could even pretend to cut up on a computer screen. You can manipulate it that way, but you can provide access or let people get to these artifacts that would never have an opportunity to otherwise. If you have a chance to watch this video, it is in the description of this Camp Day 2 video on the Cedar Rapids Public Library's YouTube channel. And it's just incredible. He tells a story about how he had one request for some printed artifacts from someone who wanted people with limited vision to experience these very important things that are a record of culture. So you can't let people handle artifacts generally, but if you have one that's a replica, you can touch it all you want. It's just incredible. So, in a perfect world, for your project portion of today's Archeologist Lab, I would take you all out to an archaeological dig site, and we would get our hands dirty. We would be measuring things. We'd be taking photographs. I'd probably end up with dirt in my hair because that's the kind of scientist I am. But I can't take you all with me. So we're going to work with your clump of artifacts instead. But I think you're still going to have some fun with it. So you should have started sketching it already, right? Maybe some of you have started to excavate and get down to some of your artifacts. Keep this in mind. You should be plotting where you're finding these things in the clump as you unearth them. You should be putting a reasonable measurement as you find them. So is it a ½ inch? Is it you could use inches or centimeters. It's up to you. That's a good point. Yeah, feel free to use whatever you like. And then I would like you to also start thinking about what these artifacts all mean together. All of these things tell a story. I mean, they're interesting on their own. Like if, for instance, there's a penny that has 1989 on it, then it could be a group of artifacts that are as old as 1989, right? kind of a ballpark. Sure, it could be 1973, or sure, it could be 2010, but at least you know it's got to be somewhere around 1989, right? So you can look for dates. You can look for clues like, can you tell maybe if a person lived near water or could have traveled to somewhere near water? Or let's see, I'm trying to think of things that, could they tell you if the person might be either old or young, or I don't know, maybe stuff that you find girls using more than boys or boys using more than girls. But does that necessarily mean it's a boy or a girl that could have owned these artifacts? There are lots of different questions you can ask yourself about these artifacts, right? You don't know who these people were exactly. You know who you are and what your interests are, but what about everybody else in the world? Try to pick together some clues, okay? Make some educated guesses. Throw out some hypotheses, and we'll see what happens next, okay? So, your project for today, go ahead and dig. Then, I want you to record everything in your notebook, and then talk to your friends and your family about what you think happened in your archaeological site.